And here is the second half of the video. Look at some line graphs and bar graphs. So, key part about a line graph is that a line graph is focused on time, okay? So down here on the bottom, do you see how this says time? So time goes that way and the numbers go up and down. So we can look over here and say at 1 p.m. there's 22 people. At 3 p.m. there's 5 people. And then it's just reading it from there. You guys know how to make one of those. What's on the bottom is always time. Okay, time on the bottom, numbers on the side. Okay, so that's review. If you get a little confused, just remember that. Now, let's look at our next one, which is a pie chart, or circle graph as the book calls it. So when we have a circle graph, that's what it's going to look like here that I am putting on the screen before you. So the way we do that to find these percentages here is we take, however, let's say that homework was 5 and we had, let's say this matched homework. The red here was 4, the research here was 3, other was 2, and social was 8. Okay, the way we would find that is we have to add up the numbers of each one. So in this case, it would be 5 plus 8, which is 13, plus 2 is 15, plus 3 is 18, plus 4 is 22. So if I want to know the percent of homework, I would just do 5 divided by 22. Okay, and 5 divided by 22 is 23%. So that's how I would do that, and I do that for everyone. Now, it won't match this chart that I did because I just made these numbers up, but they happen to get close. This one actually did work where it would round up to 23%. So that's just something that you can keep in mind. Make sure that you add them up and then divide, and then you get the percent. And then when you go to draw it, you have to do the percent. So you do 0.23 times 360 degrees to get how many degrees you would get. So I do that. And when I'm drawing this now on the calculator, it's going to be 83 degrees. Round up to 83 degrees when I go to make my little mark. Okay, it's going to be a little, like it is here, right? It's a little less than 90 degrees. So that's 83 degree angle. Okay, so there's our pie chart. Now let's talk about a bar graph and a histogram. So we got all kinds of bar graphs going on. We have the double bar graph. Okay, this one's pretty easy to interpret, right? The colors tell you what's what. So we have here Thursday is represented by all the blue ones. So if I want to know how much does Miss Smith give on homework on Thursday, I look at the blue and I come over and it's at 16. How much does she give on Wednesday? She only gives 14, right? She cares about church. Maybe not. And then we come down here. Miss Williams, on the other hand, look, she gives more on Wednesday. She gives 14 on Wednesday and she only gives 10 on Thursday. Okay, so that's how we read it. If we want to know how many total, we'd have to add this one over here, plus this one, plus this one, plus this one, plus this one, all of these added up. If you want to know the total number of minutes in those 2 days, but you guys can, I think you guys can read it from there. Let me put on a traditional bar graph real fast. Oop. That should not be too hard to understand. This one I think we used before. It's the number of pets, right? The way we do that, say how many rabbits are there? We just go across, so there's 4. How many dogs? 8. How many cats? 11. How many goldfish? 6. How many hamsters? 5, right? We just go like that. Very easy. That's how you do a bar graph. You guys did well on that. I'm not worried. Then, one that's a little more confusing here is a histogram. Let me put this guy up here. We have used this one before, the theme park admission. So, the key part about a histogram is to look down here. You see that's a range, 7 to 14. The other one, it was like cat, so it was one category. But this one now is a range, where it's 7 to 14, 15 to 22, 23 to 30. Right, we got all those ranges, and we still come over here and look and say, oh, okay, how many are 7 to 14? Only 5. How many are 15 to 22? 7, and that's the most, right? So that's how we do that. The key part when you make one of these is that the intervals, okay, the ones I'm circling in green, they have to be the same width. Okay, that means they have to be the same amount apart. You see how this is 39 to 46? That's 7 spaces in between them, but it's a total of actually 8. Okay, so if you include 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, and 46. See how many is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're 8 wide. So that means every one is going to have to be like that. Okay, you don't just get to choose how wide you make them. At the same time, you see how this goes up by 2, then 2 more, 2 more, 2 more, 2 more. It's the same way when you do this side. They can't just be one. It can't go from like 2 to 5 to 10 to 30 to 48, right? It can't just be random. It has to be the same amount, by the same amount there and by the same amount here, okay? There is that homework. I believe in your guys' ability to do that. And now, last thing I'm going to cover, and then I'll give you the homework, is factorials, which I think you remember, right? If we have 10 factorial, that equals 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And if you punch that in the calculator, you get a really big number. 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2. You get this enormous number, 3,628,800, right? 3,628,800. Okay, that's how we do factorial. You'll have something like that on the homework. Also, just so you're aware, if you ever have 0 to that, like that, that just equals 1. I realize I didn't cover that in the normal lessons, but 0 to the factorial is just 1, okay? There we go. So, homework for this review. So, review, we are on page 446. We're doing 1 through 25 all, okay? And we'll do the other half for tomorrow's homework. So, if you have any questions, please let me know. There is our homework for today. Okay, enjoy your Monday. Mr. H.